It's hard not to get anxious about that, especially when you're a nomad and your life is on the road, like so many of us. All right, we are going for a drive to fill up the petrol. I've got one full tank, but I'm going to fill up the second one because, so apparently even the government's starting to freak out about the situation now because this doesn't sound very good, squeaking. Oh, there she goes. Fan belt. There was a big fire at some oil refinery in Geelong, and that's going to apparently reduce. That's where like Victoria gets apparently 50% of its fuel from. So everyone's just sort of like going, go get petrol now. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm not sure exactly what the price is, but I think they said it's going to go up, within a couple of days, and it was actually looking pretty reasonable when I checked the prices yesterday. So let's go see what it is. All right, what do we got here? Ultimate, $2.99. Oh shit, it's gone up already. Damn it. No, that's diesel. Oh, okay, 208 for. Oh, it's going up already. I don't know what it is for premium. It doesn't say. Let's have a look. All right, let's see what it is. Ultimate. $2.33. That's not exactly bargain, but probably cheaper than it has been for a while. So let's see how much it cost me to fill up a tank. That's actually cheaper than it was when I came through like the outback route. So let's do it. So today I am back at my amazing mechanic that looked after Effie for me last time. Oh, she's starting to get rust. It's concerning me. And I brought it in because the fan belt was squealing when I took it to get petrol the other day, and I was a bit concerned about that. So I was like, should probably get that checked out. Anyway, he explained it to me. He said, he said, oh, I didn't hear it squealing when it came in. And I said, yeah, no, it didn't squeal on the way here, but it's a lot longer drive. And he explained that when the car isn't being driven very often, which it's not at the moment, then the alternator has to work harder to charge the battery, and it does that through the fan belt. And if the fan belt is cold, it takes more energy from the alternator, and anyway, something to do with that. And so he has recommended and suggested that I get he showed me that he's got on one of his vehicles here a trickle charge solar panel that will trickle charge into the battery so that you can sit it on your dash, and that way it means that I don't have to take it for long drives just to keep the battery charged, which I think is an awesome idea. And also the little solar panel would work then on my little Blue Eddy that I use when I'm busking, so I'm pretty stoked with that idea. And anyway, he's just going to order one off Temu or something. It's like $20. It's so good. So that's what we're going to do, and the reason why I'm prepping my truck is because I've been actually contemplating possibly hitting the road again, and I will tell you more about that when I'm back at home. He looked at the battery and he said, how old's your battery? Because obviously, the alternator's working hard to charge this battery up. He said, and I said, well, I don't know. I said, I don't remember ever changing the battery on this thing. I said, is it an American battery or an Australian battery? That'd be a good indicator. Anyway, he looked it up. He goes, it's an American battery. And I'm like, well, he goes, when did you buy the truck? And I said, I think it was 2015. And he's like, and I've never changed the battery that whole time. So that's at least 10-year-old battery. And it is an American battery. Anyway, I wanted to flip this around and show you because it's autumn now. Again, beautiful sunny 21 degrees, beautiful weather. But this street here, which I came down and I was like, oh my gosh, the trees look so pretty right now. I love autumn. How beautiful is that? Hey? Look at all the colours. Very gorgeous. Anyway, the battery thing, yes, I'm going to have to get a new battery. I said to him, how much is it for a new battery? He said about $250, and he said get a bigger one if you can, because I'm using it to charge the caravan up when I'm driving as well with the Blue Eddy Charger 1 DC charger. So learn the art of truck maintenance. This is what you got to do. And now that I've dealt with Pixie's stuff, and that's hopefully the expense of that isn't behind me, so I will get some stuff done to my truck, look after my truck, because it's certainly looked after me, and that will make me feel good. But oh, this is so fun to drive. I love my truck. I'm so glad right now that I didn't sell it and get a Land Cruiser like I almost considered doing when I was in Brisbane. Especially with the price of diesel at the moment, I'm kind of glad I'm running on a petrol car. Holy dooly. I'm just enjoying cruising around now, so love my truck, love my truck. Hi guys, I'm feeling very, very exhausted today. Just tired, and I did go busking yesterday because sometimes it's just so nice to go out there, play my music. I don't get a chance to play music where I am in my van because it's very quiet here and I don't want to disturb my neighbours, so I don't play in the caravan, and I don't even play like music like normally. Music's a very big part of my life, so for me to go out busking is an opportunity to play my music and just making people happy. Like, I get such lovely feedback from people who say really, you know, how much they appreciate that. So that makes it very uplifting activity for me to do. If I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed and down, I just go and make some music. So I did that, and I did post a little bit of it. I tried to post me playing the song Imagine, John Lennon, but it got completely blocked for copyright purposes, but for some reason What the World Needs Now didn't, so you can watch that. But it's surprising how exhausting just 2 hours of playing music out there, and also it's the talking to people, and I love it. Like, you know, I'll stop and chat to mums with bubs and random people and older people, and honestly 50% of the time I'm out there is actually just talking to people who want to come up and talk to me about all sorts of things. Like, you know, it starts off with the music, and then it's like they'll tell me, oh, you know, my daughter plays piano, or, you know, when I was younger I used to do this. Like, there's a lot of sort of sentimental reminiscing that happens when you play music. So and I love that. It's pretty much the only human interaction I get, like, in real life, apart from you guys. So for me it's really important to keep that going so I don't become too isolated. But at the end of it, and I was actually packing up at the time I was finished, one lady came up, and at first it just seemed like a normal conversation that you have with people, but then there was something obviously not quite right with her, because she just would not let me go. Like, I had my hand on my trolley and I'm going, well, I gotta go. Oh yeah, but I haven't finished telling you what I wanted to tell you. And it was like one subject to another subject to another. She was flip-flopping all over the place, like, and it was a good 15-20 minutes. And at that stage, when I'm packed up and done, I just want to come home, and I could not extrapolate myself. Like, it was like, I've really got to go. Yeah, but I just wanted, one other thing I wanted to tell you. Like, it just went on and on and on and on and on, and I came home feeling so drained from that. Like, I was just, I had a headache. My body felt weary, and I can't. Yeah, she was very much an energy-sucking type of human being. And I still feel a bit like that today. Like, I had a good sleep, but I'm still... it was hard work. Anyway, my house is a little bit of a mess, but I did want to, you know, fill you in on what's been going on. And I've been doing a little bit of sewing repairs, which I do. And look, I wanted to show you this gorgeous sewing box. How beautiful is it? So in caravan parks, oftentimes if you don't want something, you just leave it in the laundry. It's kind of a thing. People leave things in the laundry, and it's like a give and take. There's often books in there, lots of books in there as well. So I found this. This was a few years ago now, and the reason why I fell in love with it and I had to bring it home with me is because when I was a little girl, my grandma she was very into needlework and crochet and like all this sort of crafty stuff and oftentimes I would help her finish things that were a bit too fiddly for her with her eyes not being good. And she had a sewing basket just like this, and I really loved it. And she had promised it to me when she died, and unfortunately I was overseas when she passed away, so my mum sold everything in the house, and I was like, my sewing basket. So when I saw this sitting there, it was like, it's meant to be mine. So I love that. That's my little sewing basket. I've also just made up my little egg pancake, gelatin pancake, and I wanted to thank some people, which I really need to start writing things down so I can remember who gave me what and why. But someone sent me some money to buy some more gelatin, because I am onto my second tin of the 2 that I had bought now, and I do go through quite a bit, and I'm also giving it to Pixie at the moment. So I've just ordered two more 500 gram tins. I've ordered another kilo of gelatin to get me through, which is nice. Julie, that's who it was, Julie D, thank you so much for the money towards, the message was something towards buying more ghee and gelatin, and a treat for Princess Pixie. So Pixie can't really have treats, but she's really enjoying the gelatin and in her food, and I think it's helping her a little bit. She had a bit of a coughing fit this morning. It's kind of once a day she'll have one little turn of coughing, but it's not lingering. And when she gives a turn and I give her the little bit of manuka honey on a spoon, she licks it and it seems to settle her down straight away. So thank you, Julie, for the extra gelatin. It has been ordered today and is on its way. I haven't been to the shops to get more ghee. I do need more ghee because I just used the last of it. I've got my stockpile emergency prep pantry that I've kept separately, and then I thought from now on, if I just buy what I need, then that's my, in case of worst case scenario. Well, one thing I wanted to point out was with the, as you can see, finished jar of ghee, the good thing about these is that the labels actually peel off. That's going to make a liar of me now. Lucky I've got some fingernails at the moment. The labels of these peel off fairly easily. There we go. It's like a metallic label. You might need a little bit of eucalyptus oil to get the sticky stuff off, but I peel the labels off it and wash these jars. And I've been keeping these jars because they're really good jars for keeping, like doing things like making sauerkraut or pickling, or if you're into making jam or any kind of what they call in America canning. These are great. They've got a really nice good lid on them, and I'm just going to keep them as I use them. I mean, obviously I don't have a lot of room to stash a lot of stuff, but I do have a lot of room in the cupboards under my bed, so I will keep, a box of those for if I want to make something like sauerkraut or something like that. Just useful jars to have, rather than buying jars. Recycle, reuse, repurpose. That's my kind of thing. So I am about to wash that. I had a week where I was feeling pretty down and a little bit just overwhelmed with everything. Obviously, Pixie being sick was distressing for me, and also a little bit concerned about the state of the future if this war continues, and petrol, and then everything that comes from petrol, which is everything that gets delivered and supplied, and food. When I went busking yesterday was the first time I actually saw that people are now doing like they did in COVID, like coming out with trolleys full of stuff and with big huge packets of toilet paper, and I noticed all the supermarkets, this is a dead giveaway, all the supermarkets have like really stocked up on extra toilet paper. Like they've usually got a whole section in the middle of the supermarket that's a pile high of like 24 packs of toilet paper that are on special, and they're preempting that people are going to start stockpiling. Now that that was interesting to me, that people were actually for the first time starting to realize the follow-on effects of not having access to petrol. And you know, I heard some people on YouTube that were saying, like, you know, it doesn't matter, only 20% of the fuel comes through there, we can get it from everywhere else. But the problem is everybody else is going to be trying to get it from everywhere else as well, so it doesn't bode well, guys. So I kind of was getting a bit to the point where I was like, oh crap, if there's going to be a catastrophe and a crisis, I would like to be, you know, closer to my daughter who's come back from Canada with my little baby grandson. I would like to be involved in my grandson's life. I would like to be involved in her life, and I would like to know that I'm close by people that love and care about me if things get really bad. But obviously I'd said to her, look, you know, it's going to take me a little bit of time to save up enough petrol to get there. She's up near Byron Bay, and I was kind of excited about the prospect of going back on the road again. And I was like, yep, I can make it happen. I'm a very determined person, and I'm like, I can make it happen, I can make it happen. But then I started sort of reminding myself things like, oh, the weather up there at the moment is beautiful. I mean, winters up in northern New South Wales, Queensland are spectacular. You can swim in the ocean in July. Like, it's really nice. And I know that it gets really, really cold down here in Victoria. And I was like, well, you know, I could just go up for the winter and then come back to Victoria, which is what I had originally planned, was to do north in the winter and south in the summer. But what if I go all the way up there and things get really bad and I cannot get back, and I'd be stuck up there and it floods, and they just have those wet, hot summers where the mold thing, like, honestly, I'm so traumatized by that last summer in Mullaney with the mold and the rain and the mud and flooding, and I never want to do that again, ever, ever, ever. So I'm a little bit torn. I've been really kind of like, should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go, there might be trouble. If I stay, it might be double. It might be the other way around. I'm not sure. And yeah, it's really hard because I'm really happy where I am at the moment, and I've been given an opportunity. Like, I have spoken to the manager here, given the situation, you know, with the petrol situation. I had said if I wanted to delay my planned road trip, which at that stage was the Nullarbor and WA, if I could delay that until, say, next March, would that be okay if I stayed here until then? And they were like, yes, they actually said I could. Now, I haven't been given an opportunity like this to stay in one place in the 6.5 years I've been on the road. So that's a pretty big deal for me. Having said that, like, part of me starts getting a little bit restless because I'm so used to being on the road, and I don't think I'm used to life being, I guess, I know it's going to sound ironic because life in a caravan is never easy, but if it's going to be easy, this is about as easy as it could possibly get. The fact that I have electricity, I have a laundry, I have a bathroom with hot showers, the shops are like 2 minutes down the road. It's just convenient, and if I do want to go busking, I can. Everything's nearby, so there's not very far to travel, which is really, really nice. And I love my site. Like, I get morning sunshine pours in here. I get the beautiful sunset in my back window, which is funny, you know, because when I walk around and look at all modern caravans, a lot of them have a sealed off back. I think because the bathrooms are down there. You don't see a lot of caravans now, the newer ones, with a big, huge whole back window like I've got. I love my back window. It's open all the time, and the sunset at the moment, because the sun has kind of shifted, just pours in there with this golden light, and there's nobody behind me at all. It's just trees and grass. So it's just so nice to be able to leave that open, and it's open all night. The curtains are open all night, and that way in the morning the light wakes me up in the morning as well, which is really beautiful. So the managers are lovely, my neighbors are lovely, like everything is so just peaceful, so peaceful here, and it's kind of an adjustment for me to go, it's okay, Lisa, it's okay to have peace. I'm not bored, don't get me wrong. That's the functions of life, and going and filling up my water, so my drinking water, and manually carrying it in and putting it in the filtering thing, and then filling up the tank with water, and doing my laundry and preparing my food, and just looking after myself, going for a long walk every afternoon at sunset time, reading beautiful books. Just, I don't know, boredom is not a feeling I get, but stillness is something that I treasure, and it's also something that isn't familiar. It isn't familiar for me. And I knew straight away that if I got back on the road, and I'd kind of already gone on maps and Google Maps and Wikicamps, and went back into that mindset of plotting my course and how long I could take, and similar to what I did with the Outback journey, traveling at a pace where I wasn't necessarily having to put petrol in every day, like staying a while, do a little bit more, stay a while, free camping as much as possible to save money for more petrol, that sort of thing. Every time I do push myself too hard, I get sick. I find myself, disabled essentially again and again from striving too hard, and I've really had to remind myself that that's not good for my health. So yeah, I'm feeling like maybe some people will unsubscribe or stop watching my content if it's not about road tripping. I hope not, because there was a long time when I was up in Mullaney where I was making a lot of videos about the housing crisis situation, and I have a lot of things to talk about people like me living in these circumstances in a van. But the difficulty of living this way has been that you're always on the move, and that I realize that if I head up north again, I'm going to be back to moving, because all the campgrounds in the area that I looked at had about a 28-day limit, which is still, it's a reasonable amount of time, but then you've got to shift, pack up, move to another spot, shift back up. And after 6.5 years of doing that, it gets a little exhausting. And a lot of people have offered me places to stay on their properties and things, and I just have, I'm sure I've said this before, as much as I appreciate the kindness, I have a real strong feeling of not having my living situation dependent on another private individual. I would rather be in a campground and pay fees to a company that is set up for that, or be off-grid free camping by myself. I don't feel comfortable. There can be all kinds of issues that can come up and make it challenging, and I just don't feel comfortable doing that, as much as I appreciate everyone that's made those offers, and I have kept record of them, so that if it comes to the point where that feels like I need it, I would certainly look into it. But for the moment, I don't feel comfortable, and that's from stuff that unfortunately is just past experience has just taught me not to sort of do that again, basically. Not that I want fear to limit me, but I am also very practical and realistic and self-protective. Yeah, I'm a little bit torn between wanting to be on the road, but also, I'm not trying not to get into a full-blown panic state, because it's very important for me to regulate my emotional state and not slip into depression and anxiety. I'm doing a lot, like I've just again been out lying in the sun in the bikini, grounding, reading Marcus Aurelius. But it's getting harder. It's getting harder for me to keep my optimistic outlook when I truly and honestly think that at the moment everybody around to me looks like, like the analogy of the frog in the pot, where all these frogs are just swimming around in a big pot of water thinking life's great, and unbeknownst to them the water's being turned up and up and up and up and up, and eventually they're going to be bald frogs and not have seen it coming. Like, that's kind of what I see at the moment, is that I don't think everyone realizes that the long-term ramifications of this situation. I think people are starting to talk more and more about it now, but it's hard not to get anxious about that, especially when you're a nomad and your life is on the road. Like, so many of us live like this because we couldn't afford traditional housing, and the biggest expense in our lives was petrol, honestly, because you can free camp, and most people do free camp as much as possible. Off-grid camping, I am fully off-griddable. Even well-to-do grey nomads with $200,000 caravans and brand new Land Cruisers, they're all getting off the road. A lot of them. Some of them are saying, "I'll just travel slower, it's not a big deal." Like, there's definitely two camps of this situation happening, of people that think it's being overblown and it's not a big deal and things will be fine and there's plenty of petrol and we don't have to worry about it, that it's a manufactured crisis. And then there's people that are pretty much saying, like, things are going to get a lot worse. And I, just from my own sort of knowing, and somebody said to me, "I'll just stop watching the news." I don't watch the news. I don't have a television, for starters. I mean, I do have a tablet and I play like SBS On Demand and ABC, but I'm just doing it for the TV series and stuff. Like, I know better than to watch the news. Like, either because they're usually just lying about anything, either making it out to be worse than it is, like with the storm coming and it's like, oh, panic, and half the time the storm's a big fizzer, or downplaying it all, making out, reassuring everyone so that they don't panic, that everything's going to be fine when it comes to the economy specifically. So I'm not getting my information from that. I am getting my information mainly from watching other YouTubers who are living in this situation, who are seeing the reality and facing the reality of the prices, talking to people I know on the phone who are living this reality and how it's affecting them, and just my own kind of intuitive intelligence, really, of being able to see. I'm pretty good at seeing through bullshit and thinking for myself. Like, a lot of people have lost the art of critical thinking. It's really boggles my mind that people will just blindly accept things that they are told. It frustrates the heck out of me. But most of you guys, like, if you're following me, you get it. If you are intelligent enough to know the way things really work when it comes to politics and economics and history, and the way the globalization of the economy has been working and the problems associated with that, the shifts in politics that are happening in different places. Like, if you're any awareness of those things, which I do, I spend time, it's always been an interest of mine, and I still have an active interest in, wanting to know why people do the things they do, from an individual level and also a societal level, and then further on as a human, spiritual level, from a human consciousness level. Like, I'm just interested in that kind of stuff, and I think a lot of you are too, because you say you can relate to me, which is so cool, because I don't think I've had real life interactions very often with people that could relate to me or that I could relate to. So having found you is awesome. So anyway, that's me today. I'm having a chill day today. Obviously, you know, if I do hit the road, there are things that need doing to the truck that I'd kind of put on the back burner and forgotten about. Like, I do remember telling myself when I left Queensland that I know the caravan and the truck, you know, the tyres on both of them have been on there for 6 years, and that perhaps they might need replacing at some point, but convinced myself that I had one more trip out of them. And so off I went, and yes, I did survive and did get a flat tyre, thank goodness. But I start thinking about hitting the road again. It's like, oh, you know, you probably should get those tyres done at some point. And like, yeah, the battery in the truck, I mean, I had no idea until we had this squealing fan belt situation and the alternator was working too hard to charge it, that, you know, the mechanic saying to me, hey, how old is that battery? And I'm like, it's been in there since I bought the truck. So, you know, there are some things I need to do before I do get on the road. And I'm really hopeful that my interpretation of what's happening in the world is completely wrong, and that everything's fine, petrol's going to be fine, food is not going to be a problem, and everything's going to get sorted. But if it is going to get bad, I would prefer to be here in Victoria where the climate suits me. I really do enjoy the cooler temperatures of winter, and the drier summers are much better for me. And that's just, it's a physical and mental health issue for me, really. Yeah. Oh, look, maybe I'm wrong and everything's fine. And if everything's fine, I would just scooched up there and spend a few months up there, lounge around on the beach, go busking in Byron Bay. How cool would that be? And then scooch down here when it started getting hot again. But I just don't know if it's going to be quite that easy. So let me know what you guys think. I did want to, I should probably mention a few other people too. Hang on. So Julie, love you, Julie. That was really, really sweet. Christy, as I mentioned in the last video, was super generous. I love it when you guys send me a little message too. Oh, Vicky. Thank you so much, Vicky, who actually sent me an email as well with her donation, and loved your email, Vicky. It was so lovely. Thank you so much. And her donation was the specific message for me to go and get something and treat myself. I was like, well, that doesn't happen very often, or something that I really need. Thank you very much, Vicky. Also, Charisse in America, she's been really lovely too. She sent me a really generous donation to help with Pixie. Chrissy had a really good suggestion to me, and so appreciated that. She sent me the suggestion to get from Chemist Warehouse. We love our Chemist Warehouse. Natural pet supplements, throat and lung support, bacon flavor. Contains a blend of extra strength herbal medicines that are shown in studies to help combat persistent coughs in dogs. Works to maintain healthy tissues in the throat and respiratory tract. May help to ease the discomfort of a partially collapsed trachea. Great suggestion. Thank you so much, Chrissy. Anyway, I drove in there to Chemist Warehouse, and actually I started filming that, but then I ran out of battery, so I couldn't finish it. But I drove in there, and I'm walking around, I'm saying, I'm looking for this. I'm saying to the lady, because I couldn't find it anywhere, and she's going, online only. Like, duh. Super smart, Lisa. So I've ordered some of that. Thank you, Chrissy, for the great suggestion. I will add that to Pixie's regimen. But other than that, so far still she's doing really well. We're both going really well. This is another really long video. I'm sorry, guys, but I want to thank you all and let you know what's going on for me. And I wanted to actually name those few of you who went really above and beyond, because wow. You know, regardless of whether I hit the road or stay, like, it is a stressful time. and you guys being supportive just really does help alleviate that sense of anxiety. I love you guys so much. Thank you. And I hope you're doing okay. If you're not doing okay, reach out, let me know, because I'm a good listener too. I can talk the ears off an elephant, but I can also listen, and I know this is a mutual thing about supporting each other, and I'd love to be there for you. If you want to reach out, I will try to get back to you all when you do reach out, because I really appreciate you. So, see ya. You want to go outside, do you? Yeah? You want to go outside? Alright, let's go outside. Alright, where'd you go? Oh my goodness, slide around, slide around. Yay! You are so cute. So funny.